Greetings, folks. John Grace, President, Investors Advantage, and I have a new way of saying the money doctor is in. So we're going to tackle the whole issue of immigration today. And let me start with a quote by Aristotle. To avoid criticism, say nothing, do nothing, be nothing. So we're going to take on this question about immigration. It's bad, right? Immigrants are bad, correct? It seems to be one of those conversations that most of us are willing to have and immediately agree when it comes to how these people who come from other countries overuse the medical systems, take advantage of our educational systems, take jobs away from us, particularly when the economy is kind of tough, and then have the gall to send all of their money back to wherever the heck they came from. We don't need them. They're not worth it, right? They're a greater pain than they are a gain. Well, maybe not. In fact, let me summarize this for you because I ask these questions of economists around the country, and they don't wear red ties, they don't wear blue ties, so for them it's not a political conversation, it's an economical conversation, which means we do that with a pencil and a paper, and as a bottom line, looking at what immigration or what immigrants do for the overall U.S. economy, it is a net benefit. Let's think of it this way. Let's dig a little deeper. The average age that Americans move from one part of the country to another part of the country happens to be age 25 or 26. What are they looking for? More opportunity. When we look at people around the world, guess what happens to be the average age that people migrate, maybe intending to move back or immigrate to another country? It's the same age, 25, 26. We're all doing exactly the same thing. There's another very predictable pattern. I entered this business in 1979 when I was 25. That's when people really seek out opportunity on a global basis. Everybody doing much the same thing, maybe for different reasons, but at the same age. Isn't that fascinating? So what are they doing? They're buying cars, they're buying food, they're paying income taxes, sales taxes, they're buying houses, they're educating their kids. So even if they were intending to move to another country, now they're married and they have the nerve to have kids and buy a house and be in business. And where are they going? They're stuck just like the rest of us. As far as I'm concerned, whether you came from Italy in the 20s or Mexico in the 80s, we've got room for you, and we should. Look at it this way. When we look at the late 80s, what were we all convinced was going to happen? It was irrefutable. Japan was going to have our lunch. We knew to a person that Japan was going to be number one in gross domestic product. At that time, they were number two. And guess where they are today? Number three, behind China. It's US, China, Japan. Where are they going in the future? I don't think it will be back to number two. I think they will slip even further. Let's look at their scenario in terms of their demographics. Notice that they did not have a baby boom generation. By the way, you do know what caused the baby boom generation, don't you? We call it pent-up demand. I hope you get that one because, see, it's just ordinary people doing ordinary things. Japan did not have a baby boom generation. Further, they did not allow for immigration. The US of A has always allowed for immigration, even when times are tough. We hue and cry, but at the end of the day, it's a very good thing. If we look further, we see, thanks to the World Health Organization, that there is only one developed country that is growing more than it is dying off. In other words, there's only one country where we are having more births than deaths on an annual basis. That happens to be the US of A. In Germany, by the way, there was a poll taken of German men, and the question was, what's the perfect number of children in a household? Those of you who are well-to-do will not be surprised that German men said 0, none. See, after we get to a certain level, we do the math, we see all the money that these kids take and all the heartache that they make, and we're like, I'm over it. I don't want to have a whole bunch. Maybe we'll have one, maybe two, but that's about it. We're done. In this country, thanks because of the baby boom generation and the folks who have migrated here, the people who have immigrated here, we have more children. It's a good thing if you're a country because you want to survive as a country. So we've got about the same number of Generation X and Ys as we do baby boomers, 75, 76 million. That's a very good thing for the longevity of the United States of America. Let me say this to you. When you look at the Olympics or you look at interviews with people from outside of this country, have you noticed that the language of business is English? That's a very good thing. And let me close with Warren Buffett's quote. I just love this one. I love all of the ones or many of his, but he says, "My wealth has come from a combination of living in America, some lucky genes, and compound interest." That's what Warren Buffett had to say. So as far as I'm concerned, let's all get as much compound interest as we possibly can while we are lucky enough to be here in the land of opportunity we know as the United States of America. And so with that, the Money Doctor is out.